Good day everyone, I'm Kathleen Guyena, your first reporter. Theoritical Concepts of Social Work Administration. Today, I will be discussing Section 1, Why We Need Administration. Administration is an important area in organized human activity. It has been considered a process, a method, or a set of relationships between and among people working toward common objectives in an organization. Every organization requires administrations to function effectively to achieve its goals. Administration is necessary to orchestrate to myriad activities of the organization. The word administration is from the Latin word minister, pasabot, to serve or looking after the people. So therefore, administration has to do with identification, maintaining, motivating, controlling, and the unification of human and material resources within an organization to achieve common goal. Administration also means an overall determinations of policies, mag-set og mga major objectives, mag-identify og mga general purposes, and also magplano og mga programs and projects. Herman Stein describes the concept of administration as the process of defining and attaining the objectives of the organization through a system of coordinations and cooperative effort. In administration, it is very important to have coordination and cooperative effort in order for the organizations to function, not just function, but to achieve common goals. Administration is a continuous process that leads to organizational growth and development. Ang administration is makita nato siya in the governments, schools, business firms, labor unions, hospitals, and any organized group of people nga naay gusto i-achieve or naay tumong. Administration is a decision-making function. Administration is what is to be done and when it is to be done. So example of administration is that principal in school. So they are the one nga mag-manage sa faculty and staff, sa mga empleyado, and also they are the one who set rules of the school system. Next is characteristics of administration. Administration is a human enterprise. When we say human enterprise, it is willingness and energy to do something new nga mo take og lots of effort, and also focusing on relationship nga mo involve og mga aktibidades sa mga tao in the organization. Number 2 is a continuous dynamic process for a common purpose or goal that is pursued through an uninterrupted, continuing interactive activity between and among people in vertical and horizontal positions in the organization. Para ang isa ka organization magpadayon and ma-meet always on common purpose or goal, dapat ang administration is mag-conduct permo og activities between and among people in vertical position. People in vertical position, mana sila ang mga naay higher level of leadership. And in horizontal position, maani sila ang mga low level of leadership controlled by managers or mga top position pa sa ila. In order for the organizations na mopadayon and naay progress, continuing interactive activity is the key. Ragyod. Number 3 is resources of people and materials are harnessed and coordinated to achieve organizational goals. Para ang isa ka organization ma-achieve nila ang goals, all of people's resources and material should be harnessed and dapat angay mapusdan, ma-recycle, or magamit ng mga resources gamiton in order to achieve organizational goals. Dapat mahimong resourceful para lang ma-achieve ang goal sa isa ka organization. Number 4 is leadership is implicit in administration. Leadership has been defined as the ability of individual to influence, In administration, leadership is needed yun. They are the one nga mo influence. Dili lang kay mo mando, but to give inspiration, encouragement sa mga members. Because it takes motivation or encouragement sa mga members para mahimo silang ganador or ma-inspire sila to contribute for the effectiveness and success of the organization. Coordinations and cooperations and participations are the means for achieving the organizational goals. So, there is a number 4 is pwede na to ma-relate in a group activity. The goal is makapasa sa final output. So, in every group activity, naman dyan na mo stand out as a group leader. So, in order to achieve the common goal, which is makapasa sa final output, si team leader ang mag-administer sa tanan members, mag-disseminate sa mga buhatonon, mag-finalize, mag-planning, so that makapasa sila atong ilang common goal na magpasa final output. Next is elements of administration. Organizations and management are the two elements of administration. Organization is the setting up of framework or structure of different units of systems to carry out or perform distinct tasks for the attainment of administration. An organization comes into being when A. There are persons able to communicate with each other. B. Who are willing to contribute actions. And C. To accomplish a common purpose. While communication, willing to serve, and common purpose may be found in all organizations, but efficiency and effectiveness would be essential or important to have continued existence.
Hello everyone, my name is Fred Leo Abastas and my report is in continuation to the elements of administration. Management, as one of the primarily elements of the administration, it is the activity that allocates and utilizes resources such as material, natural, and human resources to achieve the goal of the organization. And or specifically, it is the scientific utilization of manpower, money, machines, materials, methods, time, space, and other resources for the attainment of organizational goals. And also, management involves the task of establishing and maintaining an organized climate or internal environment in which people working together in groups and can perform effectively and efficiently towards the attainment of the group goals. So, kaning organized climate or internal environment nga gimension, it mainly refers to the conditions of working environment. It depends on the morale of the workers and its attitudes that dictates the barometer of either positive or negative atmosphere in the workplace. For example, if ubos ang moral sa mga workers or dili sila magkasinabtanay, then it may affect the functionality of the workers and then maglisod na dayon sila pag-attain sa group goals or sa organizational goals. Therefore, in an administration, essential elements jud ang management because its task is to establish and maintain an organized climate in order for the workers to harmonize with each other so that they can perform effectively and efficiently to achieve the group goals. That is why management is essential in all organized activity as well as at all levels of enterprise. That undertaken by a manager who gets things done by working with people and other sources to attain organizational objectives. Management is conceptualized as the various ways of shaping and exerting an influence over the work environment. As such, it is a primarily proactive than a reactive activity, meaning they act to control the outcome rather than responding to it after the outcomes happened. So, the management is the function of the university president, a social welfare agency supervisor, and others. Manager in the management. And let's proceed to the administration of human services organization. Administration of human services is constituted by social administration, social welfare administration, and social work administration. As found in social work literature, it is applies to human services organizations. So what are these three administration of human services organization? First is the social administration. According to Archie Hanlan, it focuses on policies, planning, and administration of goods and services in relation to the political, social, and economic institutions and to the determinants of the distribution of national resources to social welfare needs. So, social administration is mainly based on managing the national resources, goods, and services within the macro structure. Furthermore, in general sense, the term administration is used to refer an administration in the field of health, education, and the other social development fields. And next is the social welfare administration. It refers more specifically to the administrative process in social welfare agency, the formulation of its policies and plans, and their implementation into programs and services for specific client groups. It also referred to as a social agency administration. So, ang social welfare administration, mao ni siya ang administrative process sa sulod sa usa ka social welfare agency, like sa DSWD kung public, and sa private like Por Cristo, Balay Silunganan, and etc. The major objectives of social welfare administration, according to Edward Schwartz, is the enhancement of social functions. Werner Bohm uses the term social functioning in his definition of the profession of social. So, in enhancing social functioning no kay nanatay religion, education, health, and government institutions. So, mas enhance pagod kay mas nadungagan siya og administration of human services organizations nga mao siya ang social administration, social welfare administration, and social work administration. And the last is the social work administration. It is a method of social work concerned with the provision of distribution of societal resources so as to enable people to meet their needs and fulfill their potential towards empowering their lives. Thus, these three human services of organization need not to be differentiated as they are not separate nor mutually exclusive entities, although they focus on the macro and micro continuum in organizational development, where in macro level, it focuses on community at large and social systems function, and on the other hand, micro level deals directly to the families and individuals. And that's all for my report, and to further elaborate the social work administration is to be discussed by the next reporter.
I am Registrar of the 15 and I am going to discuss the first part of Section 2, Social Work Administration. Social work administration is a method of social work concerned with the provision and distribution of societal resources so as to enable people to meet their needs and fulfill their potentials towards empowering their lives. As a secondary method in social work administration, according to Walter Friedlander, is based upon the principles and techniques of administration in general but addressed to the specific social work task of defining and solving human problems and satisfying human needs. So, social work administration aims to provide or distribute societal resources such as sa isa ka agency naghahatag of food, assistance, or help sa mga tao. So, to meet their needs and fulfill their potential towards empowering their lives, ang focus is about the social functioning of the people. As part of social work practice, Code of Ethics equally applies with the same core values such as the worth and dignity of persons, service, social justice, among others apply to social work administration. As part of social work practice, nagagamit sa Code of Ethics equally applies to it the same core values such as the worth and dignity of person na every man has dignity. So, ang service, social justice apply to social work administration. Major characteristic of social work. Administration. The characteristics of social work administration include the following: the use of principles and techniques of administration in general. Number two, the use of the philosophy, aims, and functions of social work, its method of social diagnosis, analysis, and synthesis of individual, group, or community, and of generalization for change or development in agency functions and goals. Its primary focus is a helping process for individuals, groups, and communities. So kani, ang characteristic ani ni social work administrator is it focuses on micro, macro, and meso, the family, outside the family, and the community. Their focus is ang development. Kaya pa ang focus sa development, the family, friends, and the community. Number three, working with people based on knowledge and understanding of human behavior, human relations, and human organizations. So dapat si social work administrator, nag-work siya with the people nga naa siya understanding sa pagsabot sa behavior sa tao. Kabalo siya makig-socialize. Ang sa katong organization sa tao kay if dili siya kabalo mo understand sa behavior unsaon niya pagsabot sa organizations and members. Number 4, methods encompassing not only in the services provided by the agency but also in the administrative process and staff relations. So inyong methods not only nagtuyok lang sa inyong agency. Number 5, ethics playing significant role. Activities undertaken in social work administration. Harlage Tracker spells out the following activities as major areas of administrative work and responsibility. Study and analyze the community. Kailangan ni social work na administrator na study and analyze the community kay unsaon mo pag-determine ang problem sa usa ka community kung wala ni nag-studyhan o gi-analyze. Number 2, determine agency purpose as basis for clientele selection or people to be served. So you determine the purposes sa usa ka agency nga nag-base sa mga needs sa tao. Number 3, provide financial resource, budgeting, and accounting. So if na may mga program, si social work administrator, ginabutan gid niya if pilay gastuhonon sa gipamalit or naga-budget, naga-account mo if pilay na-release na money, mura sa mo yung accountant. Number 4, develop agency policies, programs, and procedures for the implementation of agency purposes. So, nag-develop si social work administrator o mga implementations, policies, programs para ma-implement ang katong purpose sa usa ka agency. Number 5, select work, agency leader, professionals or non-professionals. Si social work administrator, siya po ang nagapangita og mga leaders is either professional or non-professionals, the staff and board members and service volunteers. Number 6, provide and maintain physical plant, equipment, and supplies. So, sa social work, siya nag-provide sa usa ka panginahanglan sa usa ka organization. Number 7, develop a plan, establish and maintain effective community relations and enterprise programs. So, sa social work administrator, dili na siya basta-basta na mulihok na walay plano kay if di niya planohon tanan, murag na ay kalibog. Number 8, keep complete and accurate records of agency operations and make regular reports. So, nag-record din siya sa mga happenings. For example, nag-journal or nag-record or picture siya. Number 9, plan and conduct research on regular basis. So, nag-plano na conduct research on regular basis if inyong organization na magibukat na programs effective ba yun kahaan siya sa community people. So, gina-basis ninyo na gina-research if na-bagid siya effectivity. Number 10, continuously conduct regular evaluation of programs and personnel. So, the same sa akong naingon na nag-conduct ng research diri ako continuously conduct regular evaluation kanang na-evaluate ninyo if unsay natun-an sa mga tao or unsay natun-an niya sa programs naghatag. If wala Kaya if wala, so na ay problem within the organization or it's either the social work administrator ang may problem.
Hi, I'm Daniela D. Lagnada and I will going to report importance of social work administration. Social work administration is the keystone for maximizing the effectiveness of social work programs in the solution of social problems and in the betterment of social conditions for all people. So this will help to improve the effectiveness of this program para sa kaayuhan and to be able to help solving social problems. Aspects of social work administration. The aspects of social work administration are: number 1, functions. The following are the social work administration functions: the means by which identified social needs are dealt with by appropriate social services, whether under public or private auspices. This means that the help or support from private and public services is appropriate both sa social needs. The societal action for improved or new services needed by specific groups or the community as a whole. There is decision making at every level of administration. Okay, so sa second function is dili lang siya basta serve lang, but it also need decision making in order to improve their social services. So number 2, structure. The study of structure consists of studying it in relation to the organization as an element of administration. Letter B, knowing that the social welfare agency represents the organizational structure in social work administration. In serving social work administration under structure is you will also learn to the study kung unsay connection ana nga organization sa service nga pagabuhaton. Knowing nga ga-provide ang social welfare agency og organizational structure in social work administration. Number 3 is the process. Social work administration is a continuous, dynamic, and total process of bringing together people, resources, and purposes to accomplish the agency goal of providing social services. As a process, it is based upon knowledge of human nature and human organization to establish and maintain a system of participative and cooperative effort at all levels of the organization. Turker points out that as a process, social work administration has important dimensions that include: first is central dimension. This is the task of work assignment within the agency structure. There is a wide distribution of responsibility in the agency with the allocation of tasks and functions for every level of work. The community in which the agency works affects agency purposes and programs as it is the source of support as well as the object of service. For example, naipahigayon nga program ana nga organization. So in order nga tarong ang results sa programs, the agency will do their task properly because kung dili niya mabuhat ilang responsibility, dili pod tarong ang program like sa kanang magpa-national ID. Para makasayod ta nga na national ID, na person nga ang task niya is to inform everybody nga naay ipahigayon nga national ID. So pagkasayod sa mga tao nga naay national ID, pag-abot sa area is naa na pod another person nga mo-assist sa imo hangtod mahuman og process sa national ID, like na sila functions nga gihatag sa ilaha or responsibility nila ana nga area. So letter B is the psychosocial dimension. This presupposes that people release their feelings and energies, that these feelings and energies, when properly harnessed by administrators, constitute the human resources in achieving agency goals. This dimension is like pareho anang kung nindot ang dinalaan sa inyong administrators is nindot pod og performance ang mga tao in order to achieve the agency goals. Evaluation of organizational management and leadership in social work administration. Based on the field practicum evaluation guidelines used as reference, here are 10 areas for evaluation. Number 1. Appropriate use of self in relation to the agency's organizational structure and individual staff functions. Like atong i-fit ang atong self sa agency's organizational structure. Number 2, effective communication and handling of conflicts. Number 3, ability to initiate and maintain systems for implementing ideas. Number 4, skill in assessing available information, including budgets for planning. Number 5, initiative in analyzing and designing program components. Number 6, skill in utilizing management information technology. Number 7, capacity to coordinate activities, develop leadership, and delegate tasks in working with staff, committees, or coalitions. 8. Ability to overcome staff or organizational resistance to task completion. Number 9. Ability to monitor and evaluate outcomes and determine alternative strategies. 10. Capacity to strategically utilize self and a variety of leadership styles to mobilize others. So, sa evaluation is you must be prepared as mentioned in the 10 areas of evaluation.
Hello everyone, my name is Erica Sampello and I'm the next reporter to take on Section 3 Social Welfare Agencies. Now, what exactly is a social welfare agency? The term social welfare refers to a variety of local, state, and government programs that help individuals with food, shelter, and medical care. Some examples are Medicaid, disability income, low-income housing, and the SNAP program or Strategic National Action Plan for Disaster Risk Reduction. Let's look at the three different types of social welfare agencies. First is the governmental or public agencies, organizations supported by public funds or taxes. So kani nga mga agencies are public funded or tax supported organizations. Just like for example, the SWD, Department of Social Welfare Development, DOH, Department of Health, and DepEd, Department of Education. Second is the private or voluntary agency, organizations supported by private contributions or donations or income from services. These are popularly referred to as non-governmental organizations. So this is a type of organization that is founded outside of the government. For example, Balay Silunganan, Home for the Street Children, Home for Abandoned dinhi sa Butuan located at Sitio Dalingdingan, Barangay Pinamangkulan, Butuan City. Next is ang Kanlungan ni Maria, Home for the Aged in the Philippines located at Antipolo City, serving to provide true home to all abandoned, poor, sick, and homeless elderly in the Philippines. Next is the semi-governmental or quasi-governmental organizations. Organizations that receive some form of subsidy either in cash or kind from the government. So a semi-government is a non-profit organization that is governed by a board of directors made up of government officials. So matawag ni sila na private at the same time public agency because nagaka-receive gyapon sila og mga tabang subsidy na granted by government. Now, public agencies have four characteristics. First, they are created through any of these: constitutional mandate, legislative act, an executive order, presidential decree, or letter of instruction. Second is their existence, functions, and programs are created by law or executive order, hence may only be changed or modified by law or executive order. So because their existence, ang ilahang functions, and programs are established by legislation or executive order, so dili basta-basta ma-change kay ang mga laws and rules are made man by governments. Third is their organizational structure is bureaucratic and less flexible than private agencies. So as a result, the organizational structure of the public agencies is more bureaucratic and less flexible than that of private agencies. Tungod kay it is well established gihapon by the government. So mo na siya yung characteristics sa public agencies. Ang last is they must conform with government procedures, especially the accounting and auditing of funds, property, and other resources. So, they must follow government processes, particularly when it comes to accounting and auditing of finances, property, and other nga mga assets. So, that's all. Thank you for listening, and the next reporter will take over and continue the discussion.
Good evening everyone, I am Nina Mario Aldover, reporting for the topic, the characteristics of private agencies. Number 1. Private agencies are organized as a form of response of private organizations to meet people's needs in the community. They are created for the immediate benefit and advantage of individuals. Also, they delivers vital goods and services within its community. Number 2. They may be national chapters of international organizations such as the Red Cross, Young Men Catholic Association or YMCA, World Vision, and others. Yes, so Red Cross is one of the example of private agency. Red Cross is the world's largest humanitarian network, known and trusted in every country in the world. Its mission is to alleviate human suffering, protect life and health, and uphold human dignity, especially during calamities and other emergencies. Third, they may have been established by sectarian or non-sectarian organizations. Number 4, they are governed by their own charters, constitutions, and bylaws, and by governing board. One of the main features of a private sector agency is that its management managed by a private individuals or group without government involvement. Number 5. Their organizational structures do not generally follow a bureaucratic pattern and therefore are more flexible in their policies and programs that enable them to readily respond to people and community needs. They have this what's so-called private ownership and control, also no state participation, and they have also a private finance. Number 6. Private agencies can pioneer and initiate demonstration projects which may subsequently be turned over to the government. The latter can adapt the program on a larger scale with more available resources and organizational capacity. Even though they have private ownership and control, but still, they can collaborate with the government in a public-private business venture or project to a community. So, ang private agency or agencies is mahulog siya nga kaabag sa public agencies. Kay for example, ibutang na to nga dili man jud tanan na ay needs is matabangan gyud og matugunan gyudayon sa public. Kay tungod ang public is limited usahay ang funds or budget para sa pag-implement sa mga projects ug tungod pud kay tax base siya unya medyo dugay pud ang implementation kay i-audit pa ang budget, daghan pay kailangan i-consider, unlike sa private nga mas flexible ilahang policies and programs. So mas dako gyud pud og tabang ang private agencies in terms of social welfare. Next is the nature of social welfare agencies. So social welfare agencies must be viewed both as administrative bureaucracies and as social systems. Social welfare agency is an administrative bureaucracy because they are established to attain specific goals and their internal structures, technologies, and procedures are designed to implement these goals. Like for example is the SOP or Standard Operating Procedures of agencies meant to guide agency workers in the performance of their task to serve particular client groups in accordance with agency goals. Social welfare agency as social system because they adaptively respond to external and internal pressures and generate informal patterns that may both facilitate and hamper goal attainment. Like for example, political factors interfere with normal operations of the public agencies as in the appointment of managers and their staff. Social agencies are subject to pressures from outside and within the organization. Another example is ang sa socio-cultural factors such as utang na loob and pakikisama as oftentimes characterize the informal relationships that may contravene the formal principle and beliefs of the organization. Indeed, that the utilization of social welfare as well as the social agencies measures to support or strengthen the family as a basic social institution through which needs are met, regardless of the sizes and types of social welfare agencies. Also, to strengthen the individual's capacity to cope with their life situation.
Hello everyone, I am Christine Ann Bangato and I am going to report the first part of the Section 4 Social System. Social system is a whole with each part bearing a dynamic relation to every other part and all are interdependent. According to William Link, it is a purposeful, organized interrelationship of components in which the performance of the whole exceeds the individual outputs of all the parts. So we are familiar with social system since we have this course from our previous semesters, and it has something to do with individual, groups, and institution in the society. Like for example, we have schools, government, religion, hospitals, and family. They have different structure and functions, but it is interdependent with one another for the society to move. So when applied to social work administration, it refers to the concept of agency purpose and interrelationship of different units as subsystems of the organization. So under a system is its subsystems. Each performs different function but working together to meet the agency's purpose. The interrelation and coordination of the various subsystems are brought about by the information and communication network, the decision-making mechanism, and other built-in mechanisms which exist in every organization. Basic component of social system. First is the input. The input into the system may be human resource, work method, or a set of beliefs from the environment. They find a way of relating with each other within the system, and the change in one input may affect the entire system. So usually, planning and discussions are made sa input, and if na-change maski isa or gamay lang, affected tanan kay every resources are important. And I feel like we experienced that firsthand when we had group activities last time na if na magka-problem sa kanina team or na isa di ma-fill in ang task, there's a tendency na magpanic or magka-problem halos tanan kay ma-affect ang performance. Second is the output. So the output represents what the system is doing in relation to its goals. So usually the outcome or parang the result sa gina-work sa input. So third is the throughput. This refers to the conversion process of inputs and outputs. So on the screen, we have the illustration of William Link's basic system model that is applicable to the social agency as a social system. So as you can see, input is where the staff, budget, and building that are converted into programs by the throughput, whereas as a management. So management is in charge sa conversion or pag-approve sa programs and to check if the proposed programs meets the purpose. Next is the properties of system. Systems may demonstrate open and closed properties. First is the open system. The clientele to be served comes from the community as well as the resource inputs for its support and maintenance. So most systems are open, and the social agency is a good example of this. So, open system ka receptive and open to its environment. Parang katong sa modern theory of management, specifically dito sa contingency approach, like it is an example, since it uses different styles, it accepts feedbacks from the external environment, which is the community, and also the agency provides, in order for changes and growing sa organization to take place. Second is the closed system, one that is not affected by external environment. Closed systems may apply to agency the programs and services of which remain constant despite changes in the socio-economic and or political situation. So this kind of systems does not mean the organizations are completely closed. It's just that organizations who prefer this kind of system, kaya if it handles critical and sensitive information. Like it is closed for a reason in order to conserve its information. So example ani na organization is ang NASA. Though di siya totally closed since they have stakeholders sa government and release sila og information sa public though limited lang. Ang rare if a social agency kay closed system since we are always aware na open siya since it is for the people and community. So, in considering the closed and open properties of systems, it should be remembered that the social system is permeable, which is easy to pass through to other system and is affected by them. Thus, the social system is influenced by its external environment, which is the community. It just depends on the organization what is the best system depending on its goals and objectives. Multiple system. Apply to many levels of system and subsystems. According to Link, the study of multiple systems moves from a small view, microcosm, to a large view, macrocosm of systems. An example of this is a program undertaken by a social agency could be viewed as a system by itself or a subsystem in relation to the various agency programs in the community. Another one is the social administration, social welfare administration, and social work administration is an example of multiple system. Each is a system by itself, but its system is just related with one another. Next is the system's equilibrium or stability. It is the tendency of an organization to maintain a uniform and beneficial in an organization provides the mechanism for system equilibrium not only within the system but also among the subsystem.
Good day, everyone. I'm Albert Mainay, the last reporter, and my topic is about the relation of the system approach to the management process. The following figure is an illustration in The Manager's Job, a system approach by Simon Tillis to relate the system approach to the management process. The program as a system. Through planning, organizing, controlling, and administering, the manager takes certain resource inputs and converts them in order to achieve some value, utility, or outputs. Levels. The various levels in the organization include the following. 1. Policy levels. At this level are the following parameters. A. Policy. Making in public agencies is a function of higher official based on constitutional mandate, legislative act, executive order, or presidential decree. So naadiri ang tagapamahala or mga higher officials. Sila tighimog balaod o batas. B. In non-governmental organization policy. Making is vested in duly constituted board of direction. The other function of the board are to first, review and approval of recommendation, reports, and budget. Second, negotiation, contract signing, and other matters. Third, upholding of professional standard. Fourth, provision of direction for the reports. Fifth, provision of direction for the interpretation of the agency to the community. And 6. Fundraising. Number 2. Administrative or executive level. The function of the executive are participation in the formulation and determination of policy, provision and guidance direction and planning process, staffing and organizing, provision of guidance, direction, supervision, coordination, and fiscal control, provision of continuous interpretation of the agency to the public, including the preparation of the annual report, provision of the continuous evaluation to improve agency standard, and representing the agency in council and other organization in the community. So, sila ang gisaligan sa owner or kilala sa executive secretary o administrative assistant. Sila ang mapabalaod na gihimo sa owner. Tig-organize sa sulod sa isa ka business sa iyang mga staff o tig-improve sa usa ka business or agency, tig-check kung ni-increase or ni-decrease ang usa ka business. Number 3. Supervisory level. The supervisor enables the workers to perform their function more effectively and provides the means for them to grow in their job. His or her function are A. Ensuring that work is done as mandated and expected, administrative. B. Provision of guidance is the best use of workers' knowledge and skills and assisting the development of competence required by their function, educative. C. Provision of support and assistance whenever needed by workers. So, there is a supervisory level, some of them called manager or supervisor. Sila ang tigmando sa mga members nila or aplikante sa mga angay buhaton. Tig-guide sa mga workers nila kung unsay angay buhaton ug sila ang maghatag og tungkulin nga mas epektibo nga makapaunlad sa ilang pagpanarbaho. Number 4. Direct service level. The direct service workers have direct or field contact with the people or clients needing agency services or assistance in the context of professional values and ethics. The function of the direct service level workers include the following: A. Interpretation of policies and procedure in rendering services and in helping the client system, individuals, groups, and communities in the context of professional and ethical values. B. Provision of concrete psychosocial and other services needed by the clients. C. Referral of clients to the services in the community when indicated. D. Advocacy on the client's behalf for needed service or benefits. A. Use of a range of intervention in helping clients in order empower them to become independent and self-determined to help themselves. F. Provision of opportunity for clients' participation in decision-making. G. Preparation of appropriate and timely agency documentation. H. Use of information technology to enhance ability to help clients. I. Availment of assistance or service experience in helping evaluate programs and services. These serve as the basis for the agency to transform or modify policies to meet more effectively the changing needs of individuals, groups, and communities. So, diri sa direct service level, for example, business, diri nang usually nato makita o ma-encounter nato sa isa ka business. Sila ang taga-assist para sa isa ka consumer nga mo-avail sa ilang gibaligya or gindor sa isa ka business. Tig-sell stock, tig-hatag og mga benefits o garantisado nga mga istorya para sa usa ka consumer nga mopalit or mo-avail. Ug sila ang tig-prepare sa usa ka business.